there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we will clarify WWE's role in Vince McMahon's weird birthday party.
We've got an update on Kevin Owens' recovery.
Speaking of weird, somehow there are backstage politics over Hook's new theme.
And there were protests outside AEW Dynamite last night, and we'll tell you why.
What the heck is going on? This is a crazy video. I'm Andy.
I'm Michael.
And this is Dan News. All right, let's talk about Vince McMahon's birthday party. This was the talk of the weekend. He's 80. Not much came out about it, but the stuff that did come out about it went boom, or bash, if you will, including that photo of all the people who were there: Drew, Sheamus, Jerry Lawler. Right. Shockingly, Jerry Lawler was there.
Believe it.
What do they have in common? The Miz, Maurice. There was a bunch of people in that photo. It's on the thumbnail. You can see it. But Fightful have come through with a big ass report on all of this stuff. Just talking about who was there, WWE's role in it, which, by the way, WWE had no official role in this. Mm-hmm. Let's not bury the lead. We'll get to that later, bro. Let's not bury the lead. We'll get to that later. What an idiot. But yes, so who was there? John Cena, Undertaker, JBL, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, The Miz, Maurice, Titus O'Neil. Lots of people there. Longtime friends of Vince McMahon. Bruce Pritchard, he was there. He was seen with Vince McMahon, although he was seen fraternizing with Vince ahead of the birthday party. Yes. Now, the people that Fightful spoke to, nobody was willing to speak on record, only in the background. But they did speak to a bunch of people who were there, or were invited, or had heard about the whole thing. Now, talent were there. They weren't surprised that so many people from WWE turned up. One person who spent a lot of time working with Vince apparently said a lot of the people here still feel like they owe Vince something, even though he made his money back on them tenfold. I mean, that's just cult crap, isn't it? You don't owe him anything. He's gone. He's out of there. Now, the party apparently was supposed to be kept very private. Nobody was speaking about the event until these photos came out, the group one in particular, to the point that nobody would have even known about it had this stuff not leaked. Mm-hmm. I did get that impression when details started slowly emerging. Attendees were encouraged to be photographed by the professional photographer on site. Jerry Lawler, he posted this picture of them all. First of all, a bunch of people asked him to delete it afterwards. Presumably, they didn't want it to be known.
That's funny.
So, like, what the hell is that? They wanted to go there, but they didn't want people to know they were there. Weird.
There's a video of them getting onto like a bus, and Drew McIntyre tries to like dive into it as if he can like break time and space like the Matrix. And I'm not even here. Like straight in the bus. Like, I can see you there, pal.
I bet he had a fun night last night, Drew. 6-0. Oof.
Ooh. Bored watching the football, lol.
Yeah. What somebody think of the coefficient?
There's a tweet, Drew.
You're setting me up for failure here tonight. We're playing the club formerly known as Stoya Bucharest.
So who are we just talking about? A club formerly known as Glasgow Rangers?
That's right, the Rangers, Sevco United FC. Man United too. What a night. But yeah, apparently Jerry Lawler, this is going to shock you, but Jerry Lawler is described as a ride or die for Vince McMahon.
What?
Yeah. I'm shocked by this. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Now, apparently there were some other WWE people who were there that have not been named as well. Some people said that they were invited and they didn't go. Others said they wouldn't have been able to go anyway because of WWE's overseas. They're in Europe at the moment. Travel, it's difficult. One person who was there said that it was the first time they'd seen Vince in years. They said that he looked 80. That's how old he is, so that makes sense. They said that he looked a bit more frail, he was walking slower, and he looked his age in ways that he hadn't previously. There is a video of him, like Vince, like walking into a car. He looks old. Yeah. He looks old. Yeah, he is old, so of course he does. Now, people asked if Bryan Danielson was there because he has publicly spoken positively about Vince, and he's been a supporter in the past. He was not. Also, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan, they were not there. And there was no official WWE involvement, just to talk about that a bit more.
All over here, probably, aren't they? Or Paris, I guess, or France.
You'd imagine. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see how that would have played out if they weren't in Europe. Yeah. But who knows? That's all spitballing. Now, talent, there were talent that asked if they could or should or attend, and they were told by a higher up that it was their business. It was their choice. WWE left it up to the talent seemingly quite detached from this whole thing.
Yeah.
There's been no talk, by the way, internally, of Vince returning to WWE in any capacity at this point. Sources have told Fightful that they have no desire to bring him back. And there have been no discussions regarding using him in a creative capacity. I mean, yeah, he's 80. You can't use him in a creative capacity. Also, we have the last 20 years of his booking to go back on that. I still believe that he's going to be back in that company someday.
Same.
Personally, it may not have happened yet. I'm not denying the Fightful report at all. But yeah, there you go. Bunch of stuff on Vince's birthday party. It feels like a clandestine operation.
It feels to me like the biggest version yet of what happens when a wrestler that has worked for or known Vince McMahon or had an extended relationship with him for an extended period of time and thus is dealing publicly with their, I guess what must be their now complex relationship. What might have previously been a boss and a worker relationship, or maybe even a friendship, we don't know these interpersonal relationships, has now become a far more difficult one to pass. Triple H, even in his lengthy Hall of Fame speech, if you're able to stay awake for it, did mention how, I think he was like, families are complicated. That was his way of putting it across, his own one. Yeah. Mick Foley, you mentioned Bryan Danielson, John Cena. Several names have spoken with kind of like broadly positive takes on their experiences of Vince McMahon whilst also trying to pass their own thoughts of what they've read or seen or whatever. Some are a bit more straight-laced with it, your Bruce Prichard, your Undertakers, JBLs and the like. But this feels like the biggest collection of those yet. That image that Jerry Lawler posted, it has been, I would say, your Miz's, your Sheamus's, your Drew McIntyres that have earned the ire of people online, from what I've seen thus far, mostly because they've not been put in a position to have to comment yet.
Yeah.
And this is a comment without a comment, isn't it? This is a wordless comment.
Yeah,
this is something
absolutely.
not. If wrestlers have been given the choice or they've asked management said, do what you like, this can be on you. And they've made that choice, they are now earning the response to that choice. And I think people are quite entitled to feel hurt or let down or it's like
way they do.
Wrestling is in itself, like we've said this a million times about a million different guys. You can have a favourite wrestler, but they're not your friend.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that's an important thing to remember. But wrestling does trade on the parasocial. It asks you to buy into them as performers, as your best friends, as your heroes, as the guys you want to go on the journey with. But you have to remember, when the lights are off, they're not your mates, and they're entitled to make the decisions they feel they want to make. It's never not going to be a weird one, this one. I feel very similar. We talked about this when Hulk Hogan passed, and naturally, as you can imagine, the tributes flooded. I feel very similar on this one. But the circumstances might be slightly different about why these figures are extremely controversial, but they are foundational, whether we want them to be or not. And I think that's why situations like this occur.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the Vince stuff, it's like we've known for decades and decades that he does have this kind of almost like fatherly hold on some people. I called it cult stuff earlier on, flippantly.
No, but there's an element of that as well.
You can absolutely explore that for sure. It's just one of those things. I think everyone comes to a point where they recognize that in their wrestling fandom. So if you're an old fogey like us, you're sitting there watching going, yeah, of course these people were there. If you're a younger fan, you might be like, this person. I didn't know this about that. And then you learn and you choose your own reaction to it and you decide if that association is something that you don't want to like engage positively with, obviously. I mean, nobody's sitting there going, hell yeah, Drew was there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's it,
yeah. Hell yeah, my guy's supporting Vince.
Well, it was my invite.
All
that kind of stuff. Don't know that.
So yeah, the Janelle Grant lawsuit is obviously still ongoing. It's not been settled. Nobody's been cleared of anything yet.
Nor has WWE.
Yeah. It's
still against it.
Don't forget that.
Man and company. So.
But my kind of, to wrap this in a bow, my take on this is that as soon as that is either settled or it goes through the court or whatever, I think Vince will be back in WWE as soon as they think they can get away with it, really. Not as like creative, because that'd be mental.
No.
But yeah, they'll get him to do an appearance. 100.
Yeah, I would just get used to see. It's the sort of thing where I like get used to seeing the Bear Bath clip 100 times again. They want to weave him back into their history because it's more difficult if they can't.
Exactly.
It'll be a convenience thing if nothing else.
Yeah.
Won't it? So.
Think of all the great moments.
etc. Capital M. Do you know what will be a great moment, capital M, genuinely, is the return of Kevin Owens, should he choose to make it. And, per the man himself, that might be on the cards. There was a picture doing the rounds over the last couple of days where he was at the Daytona race of some kind.
He's looking great.
Looking fantastic. Good for you, KO. In his, kind of looked half ready to gear. He was in his KO t-shirt.
Ready to kick some ass.
The familiar looking Kevin Owens. But yeah, he slimmed down a little bit, good for you, mate. But he also then was moved to give a bit of an update on, obviously, the injury that has taken him out, took him out of WrestleMania this year. He wrestled Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, having done a really bruising schedule with Cody Rhodes before that, and then he went down with Nick Stuff before he could wrestle.
That was like a half-hour match as well.
Yeah. The Randy Orton match obviously was pulled at WrestleMania, and Owens came through to say the surgery was successful. I have a great doctor. The thing is, now we have to see how the bones fuse. There is no guarantee that it's going to work. Fingers crossed I can come back to wrestling in the next year. Really don't know, but yeah, my goal is to come back. So yeah, Owens wants back in the ring. He's obviously being pragmatic. It's been a while since we've had a high-profile long-standing neck injury like this, but again, the older amongst us will remember a period in the early 2000s where this was happening a lot.
Yes.
And you were seeing wrestlers disappear for a year to 18 months, even ones at the top of the game. Steve Austin returned too soon. You had the likes of, I think it was Rhino was down for over a year. Edge, of course, there was a lot of this.
Even in the 2010s, you had a spate of styles clashes going wrong.
Yeah,
because Yoshitatsu, people tuck their head the wrong way and stuff.
It's the scariest stuff, obviously, because there are complications and risks from the surgery that could leave you, and mind not wrestling again, but with a reduced quality of life and all that. But this is the best news. We're living through the Big E one now.
Yeah.
So Owens talking like this, as opposed to say Big E, it was always been a lot vaguer about the likelihood. Bodes well if you're a massive Kevin Owens fan, which I imagine most of us all are. So yeah, just nice all the way around this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we won't know for a while if he's going to be able to come back, and if he does come back, it'll be a long time. So I think I'm a big believer in give people their flowers while they're still around, to smell them, while they're still in. That doesn't necessarily mean while they're still of the mortal realm. It means while they're still prominent and public and stuff like this. And Kevin Owens seemingly will be throughout his absence. It doesn't seem like he's going on some kind, he's making these appearances and stuff, and he's talking about it. Kevin Owens is one of the most useful. This is going to sound like a weird compliment, but I mean it from the heart. He's one of the most useful WWE wrestlers of all time.
Yes.
Because he is always over. He is great as both a heel and a face, and he has made a career out of taking sometimes not the best creative and just making the best of all of it.
Yeah.
Whether it be just dropping little one-liners into promos and stuff, little expressions, working his ass off, bumping he's a crazy bumper, Kevin Owens, always taking mad back bumps. Which maybe contributed to this current. Who knows? It's a tough business. It takes a toll on people. I have nothing but admiration for Kevin Owens. He's one of my favorite WWE. He's just one of my favorite wrestlers ever. But in the WWE context, he is so valuable. It's unbelievable. And look, he looks great in that photo. He tweeted, "Don't worry, guys, I'm still fat," which I laughed at. But look, Kevin Owens. I've got you, man. Listen, I think Kevin Owens has looked great in whatever physique he has ever had.
Agreed.
He suits his frame to a T. If he wants to slim down and get lean and all that stuff, I think that'll be sick and awesome. But also, who cares if he comes back and he looks like the Kevin Owens that we all know, or the Kevin Steen that we knew before? You do you, man.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's great that if he gets himself into wonderful shape and all of this stuff. But look, Kevin Owens rocks. I love him dearly. I hope he's able to come back. If he's not, we've had a great run. It's sad. It would be sad. But what a career he's had.
I took a bit of flack for this when I said it a few months ago, but I genuinely believe Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to be underrated in the lore of WWE in general.
Sammy Hogan. Sorry.
Sammy Hogan, of course, with all these people he's making lose. God damn it, what the hell is happening?
He's politicking them out, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe he politicked Jey Uso.
Anyway. The two of them, I think they need to be spoken of in the exact same hallowed tones as Brett and Shawn. And they've done it for longer. And they elevated, Brett and Shawn in the mid-90s, used their work to often elevate quite weak material in a time that wasn't necessarily the most prosperous for the business. Sammy and Kevin had to do that in WWE.
Yeah.
Did it for longer. Subjectively, arguably might have did it better or worse, that's up to you. But then came through the other side and then made the money as well.
Yeah.
Like, they were both integral to the rise of the Bloodline, which was so integral to the rise of Cody Rhodes, which has been so integral to the rise of the Boom. It's a pretty straight line, you know? And I agree with you as well. Like, the longer, like, we've got them around, even in a non-wrestling capacity, the more that I think that needs to be talked about.
Celebrate them.
Yeah, I think it's too easy to just brush them aside. It's like, yeah, they've been really valuable utility players. Yeah, but just how valuable is that in the modern like landscape? Love the both of them to death.
I don't think you can understate their impact in breaking the mold as kind of like rough and tumble, authentic, warts and all kind of indie guys.
They're pretty much them.
Exactly.
You know, that's hard to make that jump, you know.
And Sammy obviously had to reinvent himself after El Generico. What's the story? He moved to work in an orphanage or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah. So Sammy
took his career on for him, didn't he, while El Generico left the booth.
200%. So, like, it's cool to see them basically take their indie. Kevin in particular. Obviously, he's not as psychotic as he was in Ring of Honor.
No.
It's fight, Owens fight. It's not kill, Steen, kill anymore. But to take what they did on those other stages and amplify them and make them WWE friendly without completely watering, that's incredible. That's incredible. We want to talk about Hook and his new entrance music?
Go on, man.
So he was back on Dynamite. He killed Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta is so good as a little gremlin.
Yeah.
You just want to say, nah.
I set up the rings here.
Look at my hair. You just want to see him get his ass. He's so good in that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hook beat his ass. He's got a new entrance theme. It says, So Tell All the Girls That I'm Back in Town by J.J. Johansson. Good name. Very different from the Action Bronson song he was using before. Why did they change it? Because there's beef with Action Bronson in AEW. So actually, Action Bronson did take he was critical of AEW last year. He was on Helwani, I think.
Okay.
And he was like...
So where somebody was critical of AEW on our Helwani show?
Shockingly.
What?
I cannot believe that this has happened. I can't believe you've done this. I'll punch you in the face. He wasn't like, he didn't bury it or anything. He was just like, I think he said it wasn't like super welcoming. It was a bit weird.
That's right. Yeah, he said the locker room was strange. Yeah.
That didn't sit well with people in AEW, apparently. Fightful have been told that things were seemingly smoothed over at some point, but there was a decision made already to move on from the entrance music. Back in January, it was noted that the Hook was coming down to the ring without that song, the Action Bronson song. What was it, the Chairman's Promise or something like that? I don't remember. It's good. It's a good theme.
Yeah.
Apparently the rights had expired. AEW was working on what to do for his next theme. If you go back in January, they were bringing him out with like other people instead of him. So they were creatively working their way around it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why he has a new theme. I like the old one better than the new one. That's my take. I like Action Bronson, and I wish he still had that one.
I quite enjoyed the new theme last night. I'll be honest. I thought it's a Rat Packy sounding thing. If you haven't heard it, it's like, it's not Sinatra obviously, but it's got those tones. You might have heard it in the video package that played.
I don't think it's horrible. I'll just say that. I just prefer the other one.
And I think as well, it's the thing with things. How often do we talk about themes and names that just feel weird on the night, and then
I still haven't gotten used to Blake Monroe.
I
can't get used to it. It's weird. It's such a normal name.
And I think as well, she's a good example because I think they've done a good job with the presentation elsewhere, like the entrance and the mirror and the whole deal. She's pretty much got the character down. I'm with you. I kind of jumped to Mariah May straight away.
Yeah, it's weird.
And as a flip of that, what are we doing with this Okada business?
Brother, you are preaching to the choir here.
I was in the building for the first time to experience this, and the coin drop is almost bullying because it's like, it's so quick into that. Like, it's not. It's no shade on the band.
It's garbage. I hate it. Look, I know I'm gonna get pelters for this, like I do on socials anytime I post this. Look, I know it's like his favorite band or whatever, and I know it's a band he really likes, and I know that there are cultural differences when it comes to like rock music and stuff like that. So keep my ignorant ass in mind. It sounds like butt rock to me, man. It just sounds like chorus, crap riff. Glossy, shiny, overproduced murk.
It never really gets anywhere as a song.
And it has no aura either. Okada's old theme had an aura, it had a mystique, it had a presence, it felt grandiose. It was a quick song, but it felt huge.
Speaking of which, Ken Barlow coming out to Battle Cry on Sunday was huge for me as well.
Ken Barlow.
I did not want to hear. I know that means something to him, and it's
same with the Okada theme. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was just nice to hear the real deal. You know,
in that it means something to him, but to me it sounds like ass.
Yes.
The Marty Scorsese thing, absolute ass. Put that on screen.
Absolute ass.
It's that, isn't it? It's good stuff.
I like that.
You've just been pecked by that chicken.
There were protests outside the ECW arena last night because of Okada's theme music, or so we thought, but we actually have the real story about why everybody was there. This was while fans were filing into the ECW arena, now known as the 2300, on the corner of Swanson and Rittner, sir, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The site of a residential period for AEW now.
What promotion used to hold shows at that arena, Michael?
ECW!
There you go. So that's ECW.
That's correct, yeah. It was Dynamite last night was great in the ECW arena. It had Tommy Dreamer crying for more reasons than when he grifts on Busted Open, put it like that. It was a very loyal rendering.
You're going to get a DM for that.
I sure will, buddy. It was, a very loyal rendering of the ECW arena. Right down to fans how aggro they were trying to get in because they were walking past protesters taking place outside the venue. I'm going to do a bit of reading here because I do not want to get the details wrong because it's union stuff, which broadly I support, but I know in America it's particularly very serious and you kind of mess that sort of stuff. The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE for short, their union were the ones protesting, and this is a lot of this from Post Wrestling, so thank you very much for some of the quotes here because they've done a lot of the emails back and forth to get the specifics.
Best in the business.
So the aggregators like us can try and farm it out and make sense of it through our dumb brains. It has come to our attention that the wages, benefits and working conditions may be below the prevailing area standard negotiated by IATSE in this industry. That was what they put initially on Facebook. This includes stagehands, technicians, other workers in the entertainment industry in the United States and Canada. Local 8 is the IATSE Philadelphia chapters. They're sort of like their group, basically.
Say it again.
IATSE. They have their set fees for how much the stagehands and the techies should be paid and whatnot, and apparently those standards weren't being met. This was disputed immediately by the CEO of the 2300 arena.
Mercedes Money.
Mercedes Money from the ECW arena.
So you have to say this quote in her voice now.
Yes, the CEO of the 2300 arena. For some reason, she's been listed here as Roger Artigiani, but as we know, it's Mercedes Money. Our workers are being paid the fair wage their claim is not being paid. So she's pushed back on that straight away. She wasn't clear if the stagehand pay at the 2300 arena did actually meet standards set by IATSE. But she did say, Roger Argentiani, but Mercedes Money, one of them has said they're going to share more details after Wednesday's taping, because obviously AEW are going to be there for a little bit longer. Yeah. So there needs to be some sort of resolution to this for the remainder of the Dynamite and Collision tapings they're going to do. So we'll look forward to hearing more from Nine Belts Monday on how this is going to be fairly compensated. AEW issued a statement on this to Post Wrestling, saying, All Elite Wrestling has paid and will continue to pay the prevailing wages to all locals used as part of our residency and has made a great relationship with IATSE for previous events at other venues held in Philadelphia. The spokesman also said any current demonstrations being held between the 2300 arena and IATSE are obviously just to do with them and not All Elite Wrestling. There was one more sort of quote I just want to get in here, which was that the day of the venue, the IATSE spokesperson said, our concerns specifically pertain to stagehands. These are the people that break up the sets, build them, tear them down, all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's hard looking work, and the arena did look amazing last night.
It looked good,
Great shout to the people that
really
do that
enjoyed
work.
The show.
Really fantastic looking show. Neither the 2300 nor AEW have provided documentation showing the stagehands being paid the local standard. AEW, obviously, with them still being there all the way through to September the 11th, are obviously looking for a quick and quiet resolution, as are kind of all parties as a result of this. So expect this one to be tied up. I guess there's going to be more coming from the CEO. Roger will be providing more context and information on this, or potentially they won't, and I guess there could be protests for Collision and Dynamite. But notably, as we were kind of talking about on the desk before we came in, I've been to this venue and seen wrestling at this venue, zero protests outside. The Fed ran it for NXT last summer, no protest then. Certainly nothing that we could aggregate on a wrestling channel.
Yeah. Everyone's ran there, basically. Everyone. Interesting that when AEW goes there, suddenly this is I don't know, Crystal Gentle's really good at his job.
Who's been on it like, yeah.
I'll say one thing. How dare they? How dare they? Paul Heyman did not spend decades shorting workers of wages for this to happen.
Exactly right.
For people to get paid a fair rate.
You cannot.
Paul Heyman is turning in his grave.
You cannot be writing those checks out to those stage hands, 50 for setting the stage, but don't hear them having them bounce. That is not on. You cannot do that.
Come on, guys.
That was Paul Heyman behaviour. That's it.
Yeah.
That is not what this building was all about.
You want to talk about tradition. You want to talk about decades and decades of history. You want to talk about what these buildings of brick and mortar really mean. Shorting people of money, baby. Come on.
That's what this business was built on.
This is ECW's true legacy we're talking about here.
Sir, I haven't paid a talent in my goddamn life, and I'm not about to start now.
What if I pose to you that I pay you $0 for your services? He sounds like Sylvester the Cat there. What's that?
We are suffering succotash, Tommy. What are we going to do?
So bullshit aside.
Yeah, it's a very serious issue. Like on the ground floor level, these people deserve to get paid exactly what they're entitled to. Unions exist for a reason. They should be paid fairly.
Yep.
AEW seem to be, understandably from their point of view, wanting to distance themselves from the dispute, as do the 2300 Arena, whilst obviously those within you want to see that justice prevails and the money is owed to them, as has been previously agreed. We're being very silly, but compensation is an important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
We will see how this continues to play out, I guess.
Speaking seriously about this story for literally the first time, I come from a line of union men. My dad was a shop steward. My grandfather was a bad mother effer when it came to workers' rights and stuff like this. So
it's the real deal.
Exactly. So I fully support action designed to improve the working lives of people involved in these things. I have absolutely no idea how any of these unions work in the United States, and I do not feel qualified to offer an opinion on this at all. So there you go.
That's why we behave like silly little boys.
Yeah, so
we do our stupid impressions.
We do funny voices and hopefully make you laugh. If we didn't make you laugh,
you can ask my F&D. That's what he said when he went to the Hall of Fame, wasn't it?
He made it look like he was smoking a nut cigarette as well for a bit, didn't he, as well? What's he up to?
I don't know.
Paul Heyman's into the devil's lettuce, Lucifer.
I'm not crying, I was just smoking backstage with Van Damme.
Yeah. I mean, Rob Van Dam's recent quotes, he's been smoking some stuff.
Oh, Habaki is wacky.
It is truly Lucifer's legumes.
Benson and Hendricks.
That's enough. Let's get out of here. I'm grateful that this video is now dead.
Yeah.
Here is a bunch of botches. No, actually, random video for you. In your face. I was going to say ass, but it's in your face.